Hey everyone, welcome back to Intro to Programming. I hope you're ready to get back into it. I hope you've been well. I hope you've been safe. So as you might expect, a lot has changed about Intro to Programming, given that we're moving to online. So I wanted to show you my face. I'm still here, and also walk through the canvas a little bit to give you an idea of what's going to happen week by week. So we'll take a sample week, which will be this coming week. I'll show you the content. I'll show you the tutorials, the assignments that go along with it, and we'll talk about some of the resources that are available in this new online mode. So I'm going to switch over to my screen. All right, so we're still, one of the main tools we're using is Canvas. We're still going to be using Canvas. I want to walk you through the structure. One note at the beginning is that this is a big adjustment for everyone. It's a big adjustment for you. It's a big adjustment for the college. It's a big adjustment for all the services that we're using, like Zoom and Teams and Canvas. So this may evolve as we're going forward, but I at least want to walk you through what we've got so far. So one week that's been posted already is week 8. So all of the content is live currently, and we'll kind of walk through what that content looks like. So this video is going to be up here in a couple of hours, so you'll be able to access it and watch it, which you're already doing. And then each week there'll be a little overview video explaining what the concept is for the day, for the week rather. And one note is that Dr. Fisher, who's another faculty member at Columbia, is going to be tag teaming Intro to Programming with me. So he teaches the other section of Intro to Programming. So this week, you'll see my face. Next week, you'll see his face. The week after, you'll see my face. The next week, you'll see his face, and so on for the rest of the semester. That doesn't mean that I'm not here. You can reach out to me at any point during any week of the content. It's just going to be who's producing the content of that week. So the benefit to you will be that you get to see 2 perspectives on code. And since our sections will now be aligned, you will potentially be able to, in Teams and Discord, be able to work across sections with your peers who are also taking Intro to Programming but haven't been in the same classroom as you. Okay, so each week there'll be some overview video that explains at a high level, what's happening this week. There will be class materials. So this week we have a bunch of new resources in the Getting Started section. We have a page on accessing Visual Studio from home and a couple of different ways that you can do that. And then the big programming concept is inheritance this week. So there's a concept video, there's a tutorial, you go through those. These you go through at your own pace. This is in place of what we used to do in the classroom where we would have demos in person. So schedule your week out, get these done, and then when you're done with them, you go through the assignments. So in this section, assignments are due generally at the end of the week, Sunday at midnight. And so it's up to you to schedule these, get these done. But the general structure is that there'll be some practice. So in this case, you are doing a tutorial that's around inheritance and building a virtual zoo. And then there's an extension that you have to do on your own to make the app, add a few more features to the app, and then submit it to me. And then you'll also have an assignment that goes with your final project for each week. So this is some of what's changed over the course, is that what used to be the midterm project, the adventure game, has now become the final project. And instead of having just one submission, we're going to go through 5 milestones, and you can check out the final project overview document. This will be one of your assignments for this week, is to read through it, make sure that you have a good sense of what's going on. But each week of the semester, there will be a different milestone that's due for your game. So these are to help keep you on track, keep you moving forward, and get you feedback on your game at each stage. So you'll have a practice assignment, you'll have some milestone for your adventure game each week, and then optionally you can schedule a Zoom meeting with me. So we'll talk about that in a second when we go back up to the Getting Started resources. And then there's also, for participation, a week 8 discussion where we'll have a discussion for each week. It'll be this thread where you can post questions, you can post some of your successes and challenges as you're working through the content for the week. And this is intended to be so that you can get help from your peers in the class in the way that you were getting help, when we met in person in the classroom. And, I'll also be here so I can jump in and help. And then one other thing that I want to point out, which is just special for this week, is that since we had an interruption with the study app, where I gave the assignment and then immediately the college closed, I'm turning the study app with the data assignment into extra credit. So you can complete this assignment as it was before, but instead of it counting as part of your required major project section of your final grade, this is now optional and extra credit. I highly recommend it. It'll be really good practice to do it. It'll also give you a boost to your final grade. So that is that's the general structure for each week. You'll have some intro video, you'll have some materials to go through, and then some assignments that you have to complete and send to me. So all of this, you may have heard the word synchronous and asynchronous thrown around. So synchronous classes are like when we met in person, where we all come together at the same time. And asynchronous classes are ones where the content is posted and then you go through it at your own pace, based on your own schedule. And so we're moving to an asynchronous modality for delivering this course content. So you have it every week. This material will be posted. There'll be a new module every week for each week that will go live at the latest by Monday of that week. And then it'll be up to you to schedule your time throughout the week to actually get everything done and get everything submitted. There will be occasional moments during the semester where we will have synchronous meetings. So for instance, these Zoom meetings, those are synchronous, but those are one-on-one. So you pick a time, we hop into Zoom together, you can share your work with me, and there'll be a couple of assignments and days where we do a big synchronous meeting, but more on that coming later. So I also want to go through the getting started resources. So this is just going to be a high-level preview so that you know what's here and so that I can help orient you. But one of the assignments for this week 8, the first week back, is to actually go through these on your own. So first thing I want to mention is that the tools that we're using for the class are, similar to what we did before with a couple additions. So one is that you need to have internet access, hopefully broadband reliable internet access. You need to have Canvas access, and I highly recommend using Canvas in the web app as opposed to your phone. It makes it a lot easier to work through the material if it's on your desktop machine or laptop machine. Third, you need Visual Studio, and there's a page that it has some video tutorials. I'll highlight them really quickly, how it goes through installing Visual Studio on your machine. If you haven't done that already, we've got, as a backup option, you can actually remotely connect to the labs and run Visual Studio on one of the lab machines. And so I've got a tutorial there. And then if all else fails, I've got another one where you can actually program in the browser using this service called REPL. So internet, Canvas, Visual Studio, and then the last one is Zoom. And so Zoom is a video conferencing tool. It allows us to do audio and video calls. It allows us to do screen sharing, and it's something that the college has purchased in light of everything that's happening with the transition to online. So there is a page in here on how to get online with Zoom, which let's transition into talking about the fact that even though this is an online class now, and we don't have the normal day-to-day where you come into the classroom or you come into the lab and you can ask the person sitting next to you for help, there are still a lot of options for getting help. So one of them, let's just open up this page and we'll walk through it, is that there's that discussion thread that I pointed out. We'll have one each week. That's a place to get help from each other and share your successes and failures. You can always email or Canvas message me, and so Canvas message is over here on the left side under inbox. You can sign up for virtual office hours, so you can't just walk by my office and ask if I have a minute, but you can now go through virtual office hours, and this is also linked in that getting started section where we're going to use Zoom. It's a video conferencing platform. Basically, I have a bunch of times open So go through this page, you'll learn how to book times, and there's a guide here that shows you how you can go into calendar, you can find an appointment, you can look for intro to programming, and then there'll be a bunch of times on your calendar where I have made myself available where you can just sign up for a Zoom, join the link, I'll be there, and we'll be able to work through whatever problem you're having with your code. So zooming back, we've got virtual office hours, and then 2 other places where you can get help. There's Microsoft Teams, which you all have access to through your Office 365 account. There's a guide for how to connect, and there is this group in it called IAM Knowledge Center. Let me just show you under Teams. This is the IAM Knowledge Center. If you download the desktop app, you'll see something like this, but you can also access Teams from your browser. And this is accessible to any student in IAM. I've made it so that you can all get in here. Check the announcements for the announcement that I made about the Knowledge Center. But there's a general channel for just chat about general things. And there's also specifically a programming channel for talking about C# and C++. So you can ask questions here. The tutors will have access to this. The faculty have access to this. So you'll be able to ask people outside of our classroom for help here. And same with the student-run Discords. So these are unofficial in that the college doesn't support them, but the students in IAM are very active on them. So Discord is another chat app. There is an invite here to join the programming one. Here's one to join the general. And when you get into them, you'll see something like this, where here's the programming Discord. There are a bunch of channels over here. So you can post your question in one of those channels. You can chat with folks just generally if you're looking to connect with people now that you have moved off campus. So both Teams and Discord are good places to get help. You've got a lot of options available to you. One of the big changes that's going to happen now that we're moving online is that you're just not going to have the natural, when you're passing by someone in the hallway asking them for help, or you walk by my office and you're able to just poke your head in and ask for help. So you're going to have to be a little bit more proactive than you were before in getting help. So when you're struggling with something, or you're having trouble with motivation, all of these things are ways that you can chat with someone, connect, and get help. Okay, so the rest of these you can kind of go through. It's really important to have your Canvas notifications turned on now that basically Canvas is our virtual classroom. And I want to mention, a couple of changes. So I talked about the study app being extra credit. I talked about the previous midterm project is now your final project. You can go through the syllabus here. This has been revised now that we've gone online. So you can see we've got the same breakdown of projects. It's just that instead of having the study app and with data and the choose your own adventure game and the character creator, it's now just a giant adventure game that you're going to be making with 5 different milestones. And we're still going to have exams. We're still going to have quizzes. Those will be coming up. We'll talk more about them. We're still going to do them in the same format that we've been doing them. They'll just be modified slightly because they're now going to be asynchronous and online. Okay, so just want to summarize. So what does all this mean for you as a student? Because this is going to change how you've been taking the class, for sure. One is that you need to be diligent about reading the content and reading the assignments thoroughly, because you're not going to be able to, as I'm not going to be, in the classroom with you to explain them. You're going to have to read them possibly multiple times, check your work before submitting it to make sure you meet all of the requirements, so that you don't miss out on points or you don't miss out on content. Along with that, make sure you have notifications on, make sure you're checking Canvas regularly. So my goal is to have all of the content for each week posted and live by Monday at the very latest, and usually it'll be before the Monday of the week. So this is already live before Monday when this is when we're back on schedule for campus. So week 9, similar. It will not be posted this Monday, but it will be posted by next Monday, and so forth for the rest of the semester. The last thing I want to leave you with is that I am still here. I am still a person, even though I now live inside of your computer screen and instead of in person. I still care about you doing well in this class. I still care about you understanding intro to programming. So you can always reach out. You can always email me, send me a message. You can always sign up for Zoom, a Zoom virtual office hours so that we can chat about whatever you're working through. Don't hesitate to reach out when you're struggling. This is all going to be a huge adjustment for everyone moving forward with the sudden need to jump into an online modality. So I hope you stay safe. I hope you stay healthy, and I will see you all next week.